Hello everyone, I just woke up from a nap, so I slept with my makeup on. I've got a huge zit right here, but I really wanted to get this video out because Roz has been doing that was Jackson, so well. And so usually I wait like 3 or 4 weeks to post a video about a new gecko or a new animal in general, but I'm really excited to share Roz with you. She is my last leopard gecko for a long time because I am very much so out of room. In fact, the last gecko that I said was my last gecko for a long time, she was my last gecko for over a year. So for a while I will not be getting any leopard geckos. I can't say I won't be getting any geckos in general, but I won't be getting any leopard geckos or any sort of geckos that would go in a gecko bookshelf, like my African fat tail Asha. You'll see this face again later in the video because I found out something kind of frustrating, and I'll share that with you guys after I unbox her and all that. Before we get started, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and if you guys are excited and ready to meet her, all you have to do is wait 2 more seconds because here we go. No face, standing by a window. I wonder what that means. Basically, if you're new to this channel, that means that I am waiting on a package, basically the live arrival of a reptile in this case, but you can also ship amphibians. I'm pretty sure you can ship insects, you can ship all kinds of animals. So I'm waiting on a gecko. Surprise, surprise. A leopard gecko. Surprise, surprise. I've actually been waiting on her since May, and it is now November. I was asked back in May if I could take her, and at the time I said I don't have space, but I'm building gecko bookshelves and they'll be ready by the fall and I'll have space for her. So she's been mine since May, but haven't had her since May, and there's a lot of reasons why, and I'm going to go into detail. But if you'd like to skip ahead of this, I totally understand. Some people are not interested in these longer type of like vlogish videos. That's totally fine. I'll leave a little thing here where you can go ahead and skip ahead that many minutes. If you want to know where I got her from or like why it's been so long for her to get here, then stay tuned and we'll talk about it. So her name is Roz, and it's spelled R-O-S. I hope that's not confusing for anyone, not like my other geckos don't have confusing pronunciations and spellings of their names, considering they're named after characters from Game of Thrones. But Roz, someone's drinking out of their water bottle. It's Finnegan. But Roz is a leopard gecko who is an Enigma. She has Enigma syndrome, which is a neurological disorder that a lot of my geckos have, because I do keep majority of geckos that have like neurological disorders, and the most of those have Enigma syndrome. She's a very gorgeous girl, but her Enigma syndrome has caused some problems, which is why her previous owner reached out to me to take her. So Roz has some toes missing and a tail tip missing. She's a little underweight. So Roz is a female, and she was going to be used for breeding purposes, but when she got Enigma syndrome, she was not used for breeding purposes, thankfully. And she just needs a little bit of TLC weight-wise, and then she'll definitely need some assisted shedding, or at least I'll have to keep an eye on if she sheds fully. The reason it took her so long to get here to me is because when I was reached out to by the person in May, I didn't have a gecko bookshelf yet, which were the new ones, so I didn't have space for her yet. The new gecko bookshelves allowed for the inclusion of 3 more leopard geckos, so I got Egret, and I actually waited until September to get her from May, so I agreed to take Egret around the same time I agreed to take Roz. And I didn't really agree to take Egret the same way I agreed to take Roz. I paid for Egret because she's not special needs, but I did not pay for Roz because she is special needs. Anyways, I had the gecko bookshelves built at the very end of August. So right around the time that I got laid off from my job, I finished the gecko bookshelves. Great timing, right? And so that was when I told the previous owner, or the current owner of Roz, that I was able to take her. And then at that time she had been like working on putting some weight on her because she was a little underweight, and she also had a tail tip that was falling off, or I think maybe that happened like a few weeks after I contacted her. I can't remember, but that was in like early September. And between September and now, with today's November 5th, voting day, make sure you vote. I mean, it's too late now, but I voted. So anyways, between September, like the first week of September, and November 5th, so 2-month period, I was waiting for her tail tip to drop off. The reason that her tail tip was dropping off is because she had stuck shed, which cut the blood circulation to it, and that's what happens if you don't remove stuck shed. It kills that part of the body, so it's just, now she's got a chunk missing off her tail, which, by the way, is very common with Enigmas, because it's also common with a lot of leopard geckos, but particularly with Enigmas, because I have, like, I don't know how many Enigmas I have, but I have quite a few that have that, like, minimal chunk of their tip of their tail missing. I know Benjamin has it, Shireen has it, Merlin has a little bit missing, just like a teeniest amount. Sam has hers missing, Melisandre has hers missing. It's like a theme, and it's because they have difficulty shedding because of their neurological disorder. Anyways, so that's all there really is to know about her, other than she's gorgeous and I can't wait to meet her, and it's been a long time coming. Like, I've been talking about getting Roz, Egret, and then later on Viserion, who you've already met, on my Patreon for so long. I bet you that my people on Patreon, the patron supporters, I bet you they're so tired, like, when is the gecko actually gonna get here? Like, you've been talking about this gecko. Same thing with Rue. Like, Rue the crested gecko I've been trying to get. I agreed to take her like 2 or 3 months ago now, and I still don't have her. So it's a waiting game. It's a lot of patience, and my heart is so full. But after Roz, I will not be getting any more leopard geckos. And I said the same thing with Tywin, and I said the same thing with Mira. Oops, sorry, I'm playing with this cord, which is why it keeps coming into the shot. I'm so unprofessional, I'm sorry. But she really is my last leopard gecko for a long time, because I am literally out of room, and I have 24 leopard geckos. 20, I could count, but one of them is an African fat tail in the enclosures. Asha lives in the bookshelf back there, so like I always count her as a leopard gecko, but she's not a leopard gecko, so I think it's 24. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, so I have 24 of them, which is just a lot, and my heart is full. Like, I love leopard geckos, and I always will, and I think that when I have more space, I probably will have more Enigmas, or more stunted growth babies, or more disability babies, but yeah, it's just not something that I'm interested in right now. I have plenty of leopard geckos, plenty of leopard gecko experience now. I want to experience other type of species a little bit more, so if I keep getting leopard geckos, I don't have room for that. So this is my last leopard gecko. I know that's hard to believe because I've said it before, and Mira was my last leopard gecko for a whole year, so that is, she was for a while, but Roz will be my last leopard gecko for longer than that. I guarantee you Roz will be my last leopard gecko until I like relocate and move into a new place, because I'm just out of room. I don't have the room to build another gecko bookshelf like this. Like, it's big. I'm done talking your ear off. There's no spider over here this time, so I'm not like wigging out. I'm gonna go wait for her. I'm up even earlier than usual. Like, I'm up at like 6:50, and right now it's like 8 o'clock. And she is officially in the local post department, and local post department, is that what they're called? Post office, that's right, post office. She's at the local post office, and she'll be here sometime before like 9:30. They're usually here around 9, so I'll update you then. I know it's hard to see, but I've been sitting here cuddling with my dog while we wait. Yes, oh, good boy. He's such a good cuddle bug. I'm sorry I have to disrupt our cuddles. I have to go wait by the window. I love him so much. He smells so good. I do this every single morning. I'm sorry, you won't come with me to the pet room though? Okay, let's go. So after a brief respite, I'm looking kind of sleepy because I was just watching YouTube and having the snuggles with my doggo. Putting a sweatshirt on because it's cold. I hit a leaf. Because it's cold. I've had this sweatshirt since 2008. Wait, yes, 2008. And it's my favorite sweatshirt, and I actually left it in another state for 2 whole years, and that family kept it. Bless their souls, because it's my favorite hoodie, and I never thought I'd get to see it again. Anyways, I'm waiting by the window now. So I did a live stream as I was waiting for her to get here. That was a lot of fun. I should do that more often. But I'm just kind of wiping off this blade right now because there's something on it, and I don't want to get on the package. So, anyways. Ta-da! The guy was like, oh, careful Jackson, I have a blade. Why is he always sticking his face in my hand when I have a blade? Did the same thing when I unboxed Viserion. But the postman was like, what is it today? I was like, it's a leopard gecko. What is it today? Listen, I know. I get a lot of reptiles. Everyone was like asking me to do the unboxing live, and I was like, no, because I have to film the video. So, sorry. Maybe one day. Okay. Moment of truth. Heat pack, good. I hope she didn't poop. The last 2 geckos I got pooped and it smelled terrible. Remember Deffa Cup? Oh my god, she's itty bitty. She's full grown, but she's itty bitty. Watch out, Jackson. I gotta open her up. Oh, I gotta open. She's a Tangerine Trimper Enigma. Het Eclipse, for anybody wondering. Hold on, hold on. There we go. No defecation. So there she is. This is my pretty girl. Yes, she is. How are you doing? Oh my god, why are you so itty bitty? Look at, she's tiny. She's a little thing. Oh, hi, you itty bitty lady. Get a little bit closer so you guys can see her. Focus on her, not me. Focus on her. Hi, can I touch you? Are you gonna freak out? I know. It's been a very stressful journey, but hey, at least you are not cold. Did I come out of this little belly cup? I know. Let's see how severe your ES is. How do you do with handling? God, you're itty bitty. She's itty. Like, look at her. She's tiny. Uh-oh, something's up with your finger. Oh, you literally don't have fingers there. Good God. She's missing, like, a lot of that finger. Look. There's nothing there. That's gone. Oh. Same on the other hand. Look. Gone. Well, goodness me. I put cork bark in your enclosure, so maybe you won't be the best at climbing it, though, huh? And you're missing 2 toes on that foot. 1 toe on this foot. Tip of your tail. No back feet, but you do have a little bit of stuck shut on your nails, which we can get off just fine. My goodness, you missing some fingers there, huh, little lady? Oh, what a beautiful girl. And so calm. She's flattened out right now because she's like, body warmth. Body. No, you are not gonna bark. You are not gonna bark. The neighbor just closed their door. That's it. So this is her. Her name is Roz. I'm pretty sure her name is Roz. Like, I'm like 99.9% sure. I had some same feelings when I had Egret. I was like, oh, I want to name her Egret, and then I had like a couple like, oh, maybe not, but I still ended up naming her Egret. I think similar things about Roz. I've been calling her Roz for so long. I did not know you were missing that much of your hand, sweet girl. Goodness me. Well, I hope the cork bark helps you get around then, because they can pretty much grip really well to cork bark. And she's got cork bark in her enclosure. She's got that little cave, and there's like an entrance in the back. I don't like how it's set up, okay? Don't judge me, but like, I just threw it together real quick. I'll probably mess with it before I put her in, but yeah, let's see if I can show you like what she looks like. Very pretty girl. And so skinny. We gotta put some weight on you, baby. You so little. Yeah. Here, let's switch you to this hand. Yeah. See how much she's missing on that hand? Goodness me, that's quite a bit, huh? Quite a bit. Quite a bit. Quite a bit. Her ES don't seem so bad so far. Maybe it's just hunting or removing shed. I don't know. She's definitely got, like, the tip of this finger is pink, which makes me think she just lost the nail on this one, because the nail right next to it has stuck shed on it. She doesn't have a nail on this finger, which means she probably lost a little bit of that tip. And then this hand, she has 2 missing nails. So yeah, she probably has a little bit of trouble pulling herself around. On her front hands anyway. Her back ones, her hands, her feet, her back feet are pretty good. Yeah, you're missing a lot more than our girl Sam. Sam has like the tiniest bit of a toe and then half a toe missing, but you're missing quite a bit. You're missing like substantial fingers here. You got 2 on that hand, 1 on that hand. Yeah, that's okay though. That's okay. We'll take care of you. We'll make sure you have the good sheds, and we'll make sure that you have the good foods, that you get a little chunky. Just a little chunky, not a lot chunky, just a little chunky. You're very beautiful, do you know that? Yeah. Looks like you're wearing orange eyeliner, and that's very beautiful. And it looks like your brother Jojen does the same. So you and Jojen are both very beautiful geckos. So I told Viserion, who's my gecko I got last time, who his like neighbors are, and everyone thought that was so cute, so I'm gonna tell you who your neighbors are. So you're gonna be sitting right next door to Shireen. Shireen is an Enigma just like you, and she's also very beautiful, and she is missing the tip of her tail like you, but she's missing more. And then right above you is Eddard, and Eddard also has Enigma syndrome, and he's a very sweet boy. I feel like if Eddard was a human, he'd be like the little ladies' man, like without even realizing it, because he's that sweet that like all women would just flock to him. He's a very cute, very sweet boy. And then you're also going to be this direction, adjacent to Melisandre, who has Enigma syndrome, but she is a feisty little lady, and not feisty like towards me, she's feisty towards food. She's a very good eater, and she's very active despite her syndrome. She gets around very well. You stepping down? I got you, you're okay. Yeah, I got you. She's very slowly treadmilling right now. I haven't seen a single sign of ES yet, so it must just be maybe like her head's tilted a little bit right there, but we'll see. She wasn't upside down in her cup like some of my Enigmas are when they get here, and she didn't def a cup. Thank God. The smell of bearded dragon poop is the only smell that outweighs the poop of def a cup. My dog's at the window again. Are you gonna bark at the strangers? She's going. You are just itty bitty. You're the small little thing. Yeah. That's okay though. We are going to put some weight on you. We're going to make sure you're having good sheds. We're going to make sure that you're having a good time. So like I said, I've been waiting on her since May of this year. So I've known what she looked like, and I've known about her toes and all of that since May. And I'm really happy to have her. I feel very confident in my decision of naming her Roz due to her bright orange coloring. By the way, Roz is a character from Game of Thrones who has bright red hair, and she's like very beautiful. And so that's like why I chose this name for her, because she's like fiery red. Like, look at that. She's a little bit more active now. She's pretty comfortable temperature wise. And I'm gonna put her in her house, and we're gonna see how she does with cork bark, which should be interesting. But you may come along for the ride. Go ahead in. Oh look, Melisandre is about to shed. Like really about to shed. So this is her house. Sorry it's dark. I don't want to turn the light on because Enigmas are stressed out by light, so I'd prefer not to stress out my geckos. But she has a little cork cave here. Like I said, there's a front entrance and there's also a back entrance. And then she has this cork flat here, which allows for some darkness. Focus. Thank you. And then she has her humid hide, which is right there, her bowl of calcium. And I don't, want to upset anyone by saying this, but I don't keep water dishes with my Enigmas because one time I found my Enigma kind of like, not drowning, but really flailing around in their dish. And that was, I think it was San Vergili, I can't remember. So I'm very hesitant about keeping water dishes in their enclosures, just for the purpose of not wanting them to drown accidentally or inhale water accidentally. It's just a precaution I take. I haven't had any problems because I keep their humid hides extra moist and they drink water off that way. But yeah, I hope I don't really get a lot of judgments for that one, but it's just really a personal preference. She's in there right now actually. She's drinking water right off the side. It's hard for you to see, but I can see it because I can see through the lid. But yeah, it's just a personal preference. Like, I'm really just not trying to wake up one morning and find that my gecko drowned itself in its bowl. And since they're so little, they can drown in a very small amount of water. So, look. Hi, Eddie. How you doing, bud? Focus on Eddard, please. He's a beautiful boy who deserves to be focused on. Yes, he is. So she is chilling right now, drinking some water. Oh, she looks like she's done drinking water. I do keep water bowls in all my normal leopard gecko enclosures though. So like Aria up here, she has one. There's one right there. Well, hi little miss. Oh, that was a head bob. I saw it. I saw it. That's a sign of BS. There it is again. Bloop. She's drinking water off the side right now. I've also noticed that, like, leopard geckos in general do explore with their tongues, but enigmas do it so much more. Like, Edard literally never stops. Like, when he's walking around, he's always tonguing the ground. Same thing with Melisandre. She might circle here in a second. It looks like she's starting to. Oh, there she goes. She's drinking off, do you see? Getting that moisture. You can still see her tongue. It's like really, really dark. I'm sorry, but you can see her tongue. See it? Drinking that moisture. Getting the moisture. Settle down. This little man is walking over his calcium dish to go make more of a mess. I feel like if he was human, he'd be a painter because he is always messing with his calcium, painting around and having a good time. And you can see he's quite different from her in terms of his ES. He does some stargazing and he also does a lot of like wobbling, but it's not like a head bobbing, it's like an actual wobble. Like he kind of like shakes when he moves. See that wobbly? She's way back there. I'm gonna let her settle in and then I'll come back to you guys later. Nope, she decided to pop her head out. Focus! There she is. Yeah. Hi, sweet girl. I hope you do well with cork bark. Because I personally prefer it to like everything else. Hey, look, there's another cave for you. It's a little one, perfect size for you. Careful. Gotta learn that that's an edge. For you, safely, you can just walk right off and won't get hurt, but... Can't see, but her head popped out back there. Let's see how she does with cork bark. See how good of a climber she is on it. She's not doing so bad so far. Good job, sweetie. Careful. Come here. This is not your home. This is your home. So the person that I got Roz from is the same person that I got Mira from, and Mira is a gecko of mine that has stunted growth. And basically that means that she's just smaller than other leopard geckos, and the reason for her stunted growth is because she was not fed enough. I did not know this for sure until getting Roz, because Roz has come from the same person that Mira did. The person that Mira came from bred her parents, and Mira was born there, and she raised her from being born. But Roz was born elsewhere, purchased by that person, and then raised from that point. So Roz is bigger than Mira, but basically that's because she was able to grow with a person before the person I got her from. So I have right here listed out when Roz was born and when the person I got her from got her. So Roz was born on August 18th, 2017, and then the person that I got her from got her on November 22nd, 2017, so a year ago now. She's over a year old, and she was in that person's care for almost a year. In that person's care, she also did not grow. In fact, it looks like she shrank. I looked up some photos of Roz on the person's account, the person that I got her from, and it looks like she was actually bigger or heavier when she was given to her on November 22nd. So, all along, I knew that Mira, the gecko I talked about in a separate video, had not been being fed, and that's why she wasn't growing. And in fact, I had to wait like 6 months for her to reach like 15 grams, which is just not good at all. If you want any reference, actually, Mira was born in August as well, so Mira and Roz have the same like birth month. And then I have a couple geckos that were born in May and June of that year, and it only took them like a month and a week to hit 15 grams to be able to ship to me. So you have Mira, who took like 6 months, and then you have my 3 other geckos who took a month and a half or a month and a week. So I know for sure now that Mira has stunted growth from not being fed enough. It was my suspicion all along, but now I know for sure. And I know that Roz is so tiny because she was not properly fed. So I'm thinking that we're gonna get some weight on her. I'm thinking that she is definitely going to thicken out, and she's probably going to have less Enigma syndrome, or her symptoms are going to be less prevalent the more weight she puts on, because like I've said in the past, geckos who are Enigmas, who have Enigma syndrome, their symptoms are going to be more present if they are not as healthy as they should be. So that's all from my bedhead until we get to the outro. Hey guys, I'm in the middle of editing right now, and yes, you're getting more bedhead. I realized that when I was like editing this, that I did not explain exactly what I meant when I was talking about stunted growth. Everything I said was true, but I feel like I left a bit out, which is the fact that I don't know if the breeder did this on purpose, like, or if they're just, you know, like, didn't take the extra time, because both Mira and Roz are special needs. Mira has some impaired vision due to underdeveloped eyelids, and she has like skin growing over her eyes. And then with Roz, she has a neurological disorder. So both of those geckos can be a little bit more difficult to feed. Personally, I've had Mira eat from a bowl, but maybe that breeder doesn't feed from a bowl. Maybe she lets them free hunt. I don't know. I mostly included that so that it could be used as a learning experience, and also for future reference in case anyone were to be like, why is that gecko so small? It's not my fault. But I think that if you raise special needs geckos, if you raise baby geckos, or if you raise special needs baby geckos, then you definitely should take that into consideration, that if it's an Enigma or a certain line of white and yellow, or if it has a neurological disorder from poor genetics or from an incubation fluctuation, if it has impaired vision, if it has a missing limb, anything like that, you will have to take a little bit extra care for that baby to make sure that it's getting its food, to make sure that it's shedding properly. That's just how it is. So I just wanted to include that for like a little learning lesson. I'm happy that that person reached out to me about Roz, and that that person trusted me enough with her. So I have, you know, nothing negative to say. It's just like, maybe use it as a learning experience, you know? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you loved meeting Roz, my last leopard gecko for a long time. She makes, how many now? Let me go count. Counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I would say 9, but this one is Aaron's. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so 23 actually, because one's an African fat tail. So there are 25 total geckos in the bookshelves. One is an African fat tail, that doesn't count as a leopard gecko, and one is Aaron's. So technically there are 23. So I have 23 leopard geckos, 24 if you want to count Aaron's since I take care of it, and then 25 if you want to count my African fat tail because I kind of care for her like a leopard gecko. There you go. So that's Roz, and she's the last one for a long time. I hope that's okay with you guys. I hope you guys can just enjoy the ones that are already here, but I'm out of room. I'm not out of love in my heart. I'm not out of experience or the ability to care for them. I'm simply out of room. I have to wait. I have to wait to build a new gecko bookshelf till I have a new pet room or an additional pet room, which won't be happening until I move. If you guys want to, leave a comment down below, and also check the links below for social media, including Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, where you can go ahead and see more of Roz and her reptilian and amphibian brothers and sisters. Again, I apologize for this. I mean, it's not too bad. I'm wearing makeup, but this thing right here has its own gravitational pull. It's very painful. Anyways, I'm gonna go since this video is probably very long. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!